Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at BANJUL. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. GASH, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. GASH Group also provides the best security company, GASH Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. GASH Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact GASH on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at GASH Global Group on Bertel Harding Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, GASH.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dado Cham. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow tours BANJUL construction sites. National Security Office launches 2 strategic documents. Kunta Kinte's family calls for government support. Gambia Senior School Sports Associations award 6 schools. On the international scene, tiger fishing in Zimbabwe. Catched and released helps preserve fish stocks. Lucky by bomber appeal begins at Scotland's High Court. Those were the headlines and now the news in details. Earlier today, His Excellency President Adama Barrow tours the city of BANJUL to inspect ongoing project sites that have been under construction since 2019. He also intends to get first-hand information on challenges faced by the people of BANJUL, including schools. Mariama Dem was with the President and she now files in this report.
President Barrow left the State House around 10 a.m. with some ministers, government officials and National Assembly members. As he toured BANJUL, he inspected ongoing project sites as well as got first-hand information on the challenges the people of BANJUL are enduring daily, including schools. Barrow was, however, accompanied by an excited crowd of Banjulians, including the mayoress of BANJUL, Rohimalik Low. During the tour, he was shown the ongoing project sites that are worth over $40 million and briefed of the problems Banjulians are going through, which need to be solved. The president was, however, urged by the mayoress of BANJUL to provide solutions to the problems as soon as possible. The tour around the city gave President Barrow the opportunity to monitor the progress of work under the BANJUL sewage, drainage and road projects, which started in 2019. Shortly after the project site's inspection, President Barrow expressed excitement and satisfaction of the work progress so far, as he recalled how the projects came into existence, saying BANJUL was in a sad situation following his tour in 2018.
This project is very close to my heart. I visited BANJUL in 2018. BANJUL was completely dilapidated. It was a situation that it is a must-done project. We have to. With the contractor Hadim, we were able to start work in BANJUL, and that was 2019. I inspected BANJUL in 2019. I was really impressed, and it made a big impact in the life of Banjulians. This year, it has really changed. Everybody is seeing the project now. I think the project speaks for itself. This is a project that is important, not for BANJUL alone, but for the Gambia. BANJUL is our capital city. We cannot afford to ignore BANJUL. That's why it's a very expensive project. It is costing us over $40 million, but I think it's worth it.
When asked about how he felt seeing the people of BANJUL coming out in their numbers in welcoming him during the tour, Barrow had this to say.
But Banjulians coming out in their numbers is because of the impact of the project on their life. I think seeing is believing, That's why we are talking, but we said no. We will start work. When we start work, then people will see what we are doing. They appreciate what we are doing. That's why Banjulians came out in their numbers to support us. Definitely, I think this project is not Banjulians alone. Every Gambian should appreciate this project. We need everybody's support, you, the journalists, and everybody. We need media houses to be positive so that they can be showing the things that we are doing. I think this is a big example. Everybody should come to Banjul so that people will see the project. And we want to replicate these projects. Places like Serekunda, Birkama, all our capital cities, this is what we want to do. We have concrete and paved roads, drainage and sewage system in all these cities. This is the way we are thinking. We have already assessed Serekunda. Serekunda and its catchment areas is about 500 kilometers. If you want to do that, you have to do the roads, you have to do the drainage and sewage together.
Barrow further visited St. Joseph Senior Secondary School during the tour to see the challenges the students are facing. The school authorities described this visit as a historic moment for the school, as President Barrow was the first head of state to pay them a visit since the inception of the school. Barrow was welcomed at the school by the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, the school authorities and students. The students took the opportunity to thank the president for the support he has been rendering to the school and the historic visit, thus revealing their needs and challenges to the president.
It is indeed a privilege and of utmost honor to have the #1 citizen of the Republic of the Gambia in our school today. It's a memorable day in the history of St. Joseph Senior Secondary School. I promise you that my principal, vice principal, teachers coupled with my fellow ladies will forever be grateful to you and your office for coming to our school today. We are happy because your presence will turn the table positively for the school due to the access of the new road. We are no longer afraid, we are no longer scared of the flood and the crocodiles.
So we have dilapidated sport facilities, the basketball and volleyball courts. So as the saying says, all work no play makes Jill a dull girl, and all play no work makes Jill a dull girl. And we have a basketball line over there, but it's dilapidated. So we'll really appreciate it if we have insufficient teaching rooms. But now we have double shifting, respond to the coronavirus. So we have double shifting, and we have the access to road that leads to bad state in floods during the rainy season. But now we have the Star Road built here, and we really appreciate it. But we really need your help in terms of helping the school having fast internet connection, because we do have Zoom meetings in the library and we have Jangalma tablets. But we will really appreciate it if we have fast internet connection to help our learning more efficient.
The president, in response to the students' request, promised to tackle the problem.
We are just here to familiarize ourselves with the school and know what is your problems, what are your challenges. The minister is here. My team, everybody is around. But we just want to assure you that we will give you all the support. St. Joseph have been doing very well. I know St. Joseph have been a very smart school, produced the best girls that have excelled in this country. No doubt about that, but we will give you our support. Definitely.
The tour began in Banjul South through Banjul Central and ended at Banjul North. Maria Madem reporting for Star TV News.
The Office of the National Security, headed by National Security Advisor retired Colonel Momodu Baji, in collaboration with the Gambian government, launched 2 documents called the National Security Strategy and Security Sector Reform on Tuesday at the Dauda KARIBA Jawara's Conference Center in Bijilo. ZACKLINE COLLEY has the rest of the details.
The security sector reform was launched in 2017 by President Adama Barrow. Retired Colonel Momodu Baji, who is the National Security Advisor, said the security sector reform is crucial to making development efforts effective, in particular in the Gambian context, coming from an authoritarian regime and forging ahead for reconstruction.
As it is commonly known that there cannot be sustainable development without stable, effective, and democratically accountable security institutions. Therefore, as part of his commitment in attaining socio-economic development in the Gambia, His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, President of the Republic, and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, took 4 steps in launching the security sector reform process in 2017, and subsequently the national security policy in May 2019, all with a view to ensure he laid a very solid foundation for his national development ambitions, programs, and projects.
He said the National Security Strategy 2020-2024 is designed through vigorous consultation with all relevant stakeholders in a participatory manner to preserve Gambian sovereignty, territorial integrity, promote and protect its national interests, and ensure the well-being of all Gambians. In launching the 2 documents on behalf of the President, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Dawda Jallow indicated that the launching of these 2 strategic documents is yet another milestone in the strategic events of developing the security architecture of the Gambia.
It could be recalled that shortly after His Excellency President Adama Barrow took over the political leadership of this country in 2017, a technical working group was duly commissioned to conduct comprehensive security sector reform assessment to ascertain the gaps and malfunctions of the security sector that his government inherited. This assessment was completed in December 2017, and the report came up with recommendations that would enable the sector to be transformed to meet the needs of the state and the people's aspirations. The report made several findings relating to deficits and malfunctions of the security sector that needs urgent redress. It further recommends the need for a national security policy and a civilian-controlled security sector based on democratic principles, institutions, respect for human rights, and rule of law. While the SSR assessment reports shall act as foundation for the security sector reform strategy, the national security policy will serve as the main reference for the national security strategy.
The Attorney General said the launch of these 2 documents demonstrates the government's commitment and priority for the development of the security sector of the Gambia.
There are several advantages of having the national security strategy as well as a security sector reform strategy, which includes to guide the implementation of national security policy, to build public confidence in the security sector as defenders of the citizens' rights, to enhance regional and international confidence in cooperation, to establish clear path for the implementation of the security sector reform agenda, and to mobilize funds for the implementation strategies. In this realm, the formulation of NSS and SSR strategies as primary framework documents for the government and security services is another manifestation of government's commitment in ensuring that national security is preserved and sustained.
Meanwhile, the security sector has always been on the current government's top agenda, as mentioned by President Barrow in the National Development Plan. Jacqueline COLLEY, reporting for Star TV News.
The tourism minister visited Jufure rest site, a community-owned motel built by the native of Jufure. However, the tourism officials on Friday had a short briefing with the Kinte family. Modu El-Baji reports.
Kunta Kinte is a household name in the annals of slavery in West Africa. The Kinte family in Jufure seems to be neglected by the past regime. Meanwhile, the tourism minister's visits have availed the Kinte family the opportunity to express their needs. The head of the Kinte Kunda family, Aja Mariama Fofana, and her granddaughter Katifa both called on the tourism minister to consider the Kinte family, noting that the family has put the country in history books globally, while the family is not recognized. During his remarks, the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Ahmad Mkeba, assured the Kinte family of his support. He also cautioned the family and natives of Jufure to unite and work towards the betterment of their village and the country at large.
For this place to remain as it is till now, it's not fair to the family. And that's the truth. Whether we like it or not, that's the truth. So we will do our best. Personally myself, what we can contribute to help improve this place. And whatever I can do in my powers as a Minister of Tourism and Culture, we'll see what we can do to improve this place.
At large, Kunta Kinte was a young Gambian who was legally taken by slave dealers to Europe where he was enslaved. However, Kunta Kinte's resistance to slavery earned him popularity during his era in Europe. Alex Haley's efforts of digging out the roots of his origin and the publication of his novel Roots has vividly magnified Kunta Kinte's popularity globally, and it has also attracted most of its readers to visit the Gambia in order to know Kunta Kinte's origin. Reporting for Star TV, I am Mutu Elbaji.
Gambia Senior Secondary School Sports Association on Tuesday awarded 6 schools and a fan club with cash prizes as winners of the 2020 Inter-School Athletic Competition. The presentation ceremony was attended by executive members and ex-members of the Gambia Senior Secondary School Sports Association and students. BINTA COLLEY was there and she now reports.
In his address of welcome, the Vice President of GSSA, Usman Kebe, apologized to the schools for not receiving their cash prizes earlier.
The executive members here present, the press, that is GRTS and all other media who are present here today, the principals of schools, the winning schools, the PE teachers, and the athletes here present. It is a honor to be gathered here today for a presentation of a cash prize to the winning schools, as alluded to by the Secretary General from our last championship competition. I am pleased with honor to welcome you all today for such a very wonderful presentation. But let me seize this opportunity to apologize all the schools for a delay of the presentation since the end of the competition. But we are all aware what must have been the factor responsible, and that is why up to today we are not able to call upon you to give out the prizes.
He also advised students not to forget the WHO guidelines during their training and learning sessions.
Finally, to inform you that you must be very cautious as we are about to come up with this year's activity, that let us be mindful of the WHO and the Ministry of Health guidelines. In as much as we are going to be engaged in the sporting activity, let's not lose sight of washing our hands, putting on the face mask during our training and all other activities.
General Manager of the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union, Boubacar Diouf, assures his team's continuous support to keep the GSSA going.
I mean, it dawned on me that this is something that has to be for eternity. As long as GTUCCU exists and I am at the helm of things, you have a partner that will...
The President of GSSA, Ismaila Cisse, said they have many things in store and the best is yet to come, as he urged the Ministry of Youth and Sport and Basic and Secondary Education to come to their aid by giving support to the association.
We want to thank the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education also for giving us the support. That is our line ministry, and they have also been giving us financial support time to time or annually, although the support is not very consistent in terms of the amount that is given. But then we are hoping that in the future they will come out big. And the Ministry of Youth and Sports also, that is in charge of sporting affairs in this country. We hope to collaborate more with them and then get more support in order to be able to develop grassroots sports. We want any partner who value sports, who value grassroots sports, to come all out and partner with Secondary School Sports Association in order to be able to develop grassroots sports in this country. We are talking about the under-17.
Mr. Cisse advised principals and physical education teachers to guide students to avoid problems in all sporting activities. Giving a vote of thanks on behalf of the students, Mohamed Tarawale
thanked the donors for their utmost support throughout their activities. BARROW Senior Secondary School, who have been the defending champions for 5 consecutive years in the senior secondary level, went home with $100,000. Bakote Senior received $50,000 as the first runner-up, and Nusrat Senior Secondary School received $25,000 as the second runner-up. In the upper basic category, Latikunda Sabiji as the winners received a cash prize of $50,000. Presentation of Mary received $25,000 as the first runner-up, and Bakote Upper received $15,000 as the second runner-up. The best fan club, which was given to Bakote Upper Basic, also won $10,000. Reporting for Star TV News, I am BINTA.
Those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after the short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at BANJUL. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Bertel Harding Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
And now the news behind our borders. A new approach to competition has been used at the annual KARIBA fishing tournament in Zimbabwe. Organizers say the catch and release system has helped reduce the number of fish killed this year by 80%. As drought and portions have reduced, stocked in Africa's largest man-made lake. Al Jazeera HARU MUTASA reports.
30 seconds to go.
Organizers say this is the largest single-species 4-man freshwater fishing tournament in the world. But those who regularly take part say they aren't catching as many tiger fish as they used to.
This is an area where you get a lot of breeding, and unfortunately we're getting a lot of illegal netting, a lot of illegal nets around the area and many other areas. So it's very important that we preserve the fishing and the environment as a whole.
Angler Daryl Mills.
As the size of tiger fish in Lake Kariba becomes smaller, there are efforts to make the invitation tournament more environmentally sustainable, including conservation angling.
How that basically works is very simple. We have an app on the cell phone which records and actually takes in the measurement and the weight of the fish. The weight of the fish is obviously what counts. So an angler will then catch a fish, bring it to the boat. Whilst that's happening, he will video it. They will then release, take the hook off, weigh the fish and then release the fish into the water.
The tiger fish that are caught are either eaten or kept as trophies.
43.58.
But first, officials from national parks collect data about the fish, including size, weight and gender, information that is used to influence environmental policy.
We actually have a data set dating back to the 80s, so the data helps us to look at the trends in growth rates in the fish from the 80s up until now.
Although Kariba is known for its tiger fish, there are also catfish, bream and kapenta. Years of drought have taken a toll on the lake and led to low water levels. Zimbabwe and Zambia share Kariba, Africa's largest man-made lake. Fishing is vital to both countries. Conservationists say climate change and years of pollution and at times overfishing have led to depleting fish stocks. The Kariba Invitation Tournament turns 60 next year. Organizers say the catch and release system helped reduce the number of fish killed by 80% this time. Long term, they want to see that rate increased to 100%, aimed at protecting and conserving this unique ecosystem and all the animals that rely on it. HARU MUTASA, Al Jazeera, Kariba, Zimbabwe.
London's famous black cabs are an international icon, but the coronavirus lockdown has seen the UK capital empty of people and demand for taxis has collapsed. Many cab drivers have handed back their car keys and have given up, and the sorry sight of so-called taxi graveyards have started appearing around the capital. Ajazila Paul Brenner reports from UK.
In a field just outside London is an extraordinary sight. There are more than 200 London cabs here, gridlocked in the green belt. This is one of the city's growing number of taxi graveyards, vehicles that no passengers want to hire and no driver wants to rent.
We are struggling with some finance companies because they need their funds paid in. However, if you're not renting the vehicle, you can't pay what's not coming in.
Between June and November of this year, nearly 4,000 of these iconic London black cabs came off the road. That's more than 20% of the total. And they're ending up in graveyards such as this. A couple of hundred here, hundreds more in other garages and lock-up areas all around the capital. And the question is whether any of these vehicles will ever make it back out onto the road again. Among those drivers still clinging on at the taxi ranks, the view is bleak.
Yesterday I worked 6 hours. I went only with £28. So today I've been out nearly 4 hours now. I have done only 2 jobs.
Cab leaders warn that with more than a quarter of the current fleet being zero-emission electric vehicles, taking taxis off the road is actually doing more harm than good.
We were an industry back in March that was investing £50 million a week in new electric vehicles and new electric infrastructure, and those vehicles now are in danger of being repossessed. We're in a position where we could be going backwards rather than forwards, an absolute disaster.
That sentiment is endorsed by this clean air campaigner.
They've not had the support that other sectors of the economy have had, and what I would like to see is the government putting support in and using this moment, the billions and hundreds of billions of money that are being spent, into driving the taxi industry and other industries towards much cleaner vehicles.
Since its introduction in the 1950s, the London black cab has been a British design icon. But nostalgia and style cannot by themselves keep these vehicles on the road. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera, Essex.
And before we end the news, a quick recap of our main headlines. President Barrow tours BANJUL construction sites. National Security Office launches 2 strategic documents. Kunta Kinte's family calls for government support. Gambia Senior School Sports Associations award 6 schools. On the international scene, tiger fishing in Zimbabwe. Catched and released helps preserve fish stocks. Lucky by bomber appeal begins at Scotland's High Court. That's all for this edition of the news. Thank you for watching and join us for tomorrow's news.